We have seen far too many situations of people being unfairly fired from their jobs simply because of posts they've made on social media, and of course one of the largest in the entertainment industry over the past few years has been Gina Carano. Disney kicked her to the curb, and even though she's done a lot with her career and she's made several deals and been in several independent projects, we were always wondering if something was going to happen in terms of legal ramifications. But now Gina Carano has received assistance from Elon Musk and filed a wrongful termination lawsuit against Disney and Lucasfilm. I have a few things to show off, but before we get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, follow me on social media, and consider supporting through Patreon or via YouTube memberships. Now, I've had to talk a lot on this channel about Disney and how they treat their employees, which seems to be extremely poorly, but now we're finding all of this information out. This is a Bounding Into Comics article. It says Gina Carano has officially announced that thanks to the assistance provided by Elon Musk, she is now moving to sue both Disney and Lucasfilm over her abrupt and now infamous firing from The Mandalorian. Now, we all kind of figured Elon would try to find some way to go after Disney since the company pulled their ads off of Twitter/X. But over the past few days, Elon Musk has done several things to try to fight back against the company. Of course, we have this announcement, and he also released an internal document talking about their hiring practices. I'll be showing that off in a minute, but it says, after my 20 years of building a career from scratch and during the regime of former Disney CEO Bob Chapek, Lucasfilm made this statement on Twitter terminating me from The Mandalorian. Gina Carano is not currently employed by Lucasfilm, and there are no plans for her to be in the future. Nevertheless, her social media posts denigrating people based on their cultural and religious identities are abhorrent and unacceptable. Recap the actress of the chain of events, which led to her being completely excised from the Star Wars franchise. Even if they did not like her, even if they did not want to work with her again, first of all, they shouldn't be airing their grievances with her on social media and publicly condemning posts that she had made, even if they feel they were wrong, because that's just not what a company should be doing. And to boot, they never reached out to her publicly at the very end saying, this is the tweet that's getting you fired, this is definitely the one that broke the camel's back, this is the one that we have the biggest issue with. And she has said over, the time that she worked at the company, there were several things that she, said and that she did on social media that made them, force her to go to basically re-education, and she had to take courses, she had to sit and talk to certain people of different, sexual identities, all of these different pretty ridiculous things. But it also says nothing could be further from the truth. The truth is what I was being hunted down from everything I post to every post I liked because I was not in line with the acceptable narrative at the time. My words were consistently twisted to demonize and dehumanize me as an alt-right wing extremist. It was a bullying smear campaign aimed at silencing, destroying, and making an example out of me. And while you might not like Gina Carano's acting style, her career in totality, and you may not even agree with every single thing she has said or posted on social media, there is no reason why she should have gotten fired from this company. And she also goes on to say, were my questions about masks, lockdowns, and vaccines okay to ask and push the subject into the light? Should we have been allowed to publicly discuss those topics at the time without being harassed or censored? Absolutely. Hollywood says they support female representation and equal rights, Disney most notably. Why then were my male co-stars permitted to speak without harassment and re-education courses or termination, but I was not afforded the same right to exercise my freedom of speech? Now, of course, she does go on to say that she is going to be suing. She is alleging wrongful termination and discrimination. She's also seeking a court order that would force Lucasfilm to recast her and at least $75,000 in addition to punitive damages, which I think will be really interesting. But in her case, she is establishing all over this post as well that she is a woman with conservative viewpoints, and that was the problem with them when actors like Pedro Pascal, a male who made tweets about his political leanings, which was calling all conservatives Nazis at one point, but Disney did nothing about that. Gina's viewpoint is that it's sexual discrimination because they didn't go after him, but they did with her, and I get where she's coming from, right? She needs to say everything that is going to make her case as strong as possible, so I understand why she views it that way, but the problem is even bigger than that. It's that they literally target anyone who is posting through a conservative lens, and that is automatically flagged by them. I don't know the specifics that were in any contracts, but we've heard they were planning to unveil Rangers of the Republic, that show, and she was staying on Mandalorian, so if they actually rehire her, it depends on the contract she had, but aside from that, what they did is defamation and wrongful termination, and they at the very least owe her for what she would have made to continue to play Cara Dune. Plus, they owe her for the potential loss of any future acting jobs through their blatant smear campaign, right? They are, I'm sure, going to say that they didn't target her for her political views, for her gender. They didn't do any of that, but we see clear as day what they did, and a lot of us on, social media, a lot of journalists over at Bounding Into Comics, YouTubers like myself, we documented everything leading up to her firing because we were constantly talking about how there were individuals on social media who were trying their very best to tag Disney, to tag Lucasfilm, and to ultimately get her fired because they disagreed with her political opinions and the takes that she put on social media. But let's also keep in mind that Disney has been facing a lot of lawsuits, and all of these big companies that are worth hundreds of billions and trillions of dollars probably get sued a lot, but it seems like the amount of lawsuits that are racking up in terms of how Disney treats its employees, it seems so far above any other entertainment company at this point. The irony is unfathomable with the amount of cases that have been mounted against a company that pushes the message and virtue signals in everything they do, but they're guilty of treating people like shit. Of course, I've talked about many of these on the channel in videos. Disney employee sues company over alleged cover-up of SA by executive. We also have judge allowing 9,000 women to potentially sue Disney for pay disparity, and Ralph Ineson, a very famous voice actor and of course actor, sued Disney claiming permanent damage after injury on Willow, and he claimed that Disney did not even contact him after this entire situation happened. And to top it off, now Elon Musk is leaking documents from anonymous sources, mind you, so keep that in mind as we're reading this. An anonymous source just sent me this from Disney. It is mandatory institutionalized racism and sexism. It says the general entertainment content inclusion standards, things like standard A, on-screen representation, standard B, creative leadership, standard C, below the line, standard D, industry access and career development. The characters, 50% or more of regular and reoccurring written characters have to come from underrepresented groups. Actors, 50% or more of regular and reoccurring actors come from underrepresented groups. We have under creative leadership, casting directors from an underrepresented group or has not previously worked on a DGE show in this role. I mean, the list goes on, and we have been calling out Disney for years at this point over things like this. And it's funny to see Elon Musk also exposing how Disney institutionally implements ESG in its company. We've been saying this was clear as day for years, yet of course we were called liars by the media, conspiracy theorists. They tried to make us seem like the patterns we claimed to see were made up, and of course they weren't. So it's good to see some vindication of what we've been saying all these years, because of course the media will now say that this is fake, this isn't real, it's a leaked document, so don't take it seriously at all whatsoever. But it is a leaked document by the second richest man alive, and he also sees the patterns that are going on at these major companies, and it seems like Elon Musk wants to go to war with Disney, and this is at least his first major strike at them, filing this wrongful termination lawsuit beside Gina Carano. It will be interesting to see what actually comes of this, if she says anything else, if Elon says anything else, if Disney makes any statement. I highly doubt it, but only time will tell. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this and of course found it important and informative, make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you didn't, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.